Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. In this video, we will discuss the influence of Shakespeare on English language. Shakespeare is one of the famous, I must say, the most famous writer of English language, even after he died somewhere in 1610. So almost 500 years have been passed, and still he is well read all around the world. His works, his dramas, they are translated into many languages. There are many movies they are made on his dramas. His famous dramas Hamlet, King Lear, Romeo and Juliet, Othello. So there are many of his famous dramas, the tragedies, the comedies. So one thing that makes him different from other writers of English language, that is his use of words in his dramas, use of language, use of phrases, use of new words, new phrases, new expressions, new kind of grammar he introduced into English language. And he wrote during the period of Renaissance. He started writing somewhere in 1590, and his last plays were uh, they were performed in theaters somewhere in 1610. So this was the time when the Renaissance was at its peak. So he started writing, and this was first time that he all of his dramas that he wrote, Shakespeare wrote, they were quite different from the medieval and old times and Greek literature. He did not talk about religion, he did not talk about superstitions, he did not talk about miracles, he did not talk about superstitions and other things, but he talks about the human efforts, the human mistakes, and the sufferings of the human caused by the humans by themselves, not by the religion or not by any external force. So we will discuss his contribution to English language, that how he contributed to English language. One of his contribution is that he gave his ideology, new philosophies, new ideologies, new thoughts, new stories to the people. Second one is that how he communicated his ideas to the people. That is, the mode of communication was English language, and we will discuss that how he influenced English language. So changes, Warren King's a philosopher, a scholar, he claims somehow he used in all of his dramas. Shakespeare used 17,677 words, all the words used in his dramas. And few of the scholars, they claim they were almost 20,000 words. So you can say from 18,000 to 20,000 words they were used by Shakespeare in his sonnets and in his dramas. And out of 17,677, almost 1700 new words were introduced by Shakespeare. Like, these 1700 words were never used in English language before, but Shakespeare, he himself coined new words. He made new words to express, for his characters to express his thoughts. How he changed these words? Sometimes he changed nouns to verbs, and sometimes verbs to adjectives, connecting the words which have never been connected before. Like two words, they were never used before, but he used it. For example, he used a word, assassination. Assassination means the person who is murdered, but nobody knows who is the murderer. The one person is killed, but no one knows about the murderer, that it's a conspiracy, that who killed him. For example, this ex prime minister of Pakistan, late Benazir Bhutto, she was assassinated means no one knows who killed her. So this assassination was a word introduced by Shakespeare in English language. This is one of the examples. He also used many words by. Interruption. There was a phone call while I was recording my lecture. So he used affixes and prefixes, and he made new words. and some of the words they were completely new, they were never been used before. For example, changing noun to adjective, it means the word was present, he just changed the grammatical category. And when he added prefixes and suffixes, it means the base words they were already existent in English language, but he only added a suffix or an affix to change the meaning of the word, but the base word remained the same. But he also introduced completely new words. We will discuss it in this video in further, that how he introduced and how he made these new words. And the reason is why he made these new words, because he wanted, for example, if he has created a character Romeo, to describe the feelings of Romeo, he lacked words from existent English language. The words that they were present already in English language, they were not sufficient to describe his character Romeo. I'm just giving an example because Romeo and Juliet is a drama written by Shakespeare. What he did to describe his character, he made new words, he borrowed words from other languages to deliver his message through his characters in the drama, because he lacked words, the language did not have the words to describe the ideology of Shakespeare. So instead of leaving his ideology behind, he kept his ideology higher by making new words. So he introduced new words and phrases, and he changed those words because he wanted his characters to describe exactly what he wanted to say. So the words introduced by Shakespeare, so one of the examples I must give you, one of the famous tragedies written by Shakespeare is Hamlet. Only one drama, Hamlet, it carries 600 new words. It is estimated by the linguists and the scholars and the philosophers and the critics of Shakespeare that in only one drama he introduced 600 new words. So in this way he kept changing and kept introducing the new words. For example, this word bloody, hurry, accommodation, majestic, assassination, extract, these are just few of the examples from his newly introduced words. These were the words, they were never used before Shakespeare. It was only Shakespeare who used it. So this was his contribution to English language. He added words to English language, he added vocabulary to English language in this way. Then we have the phrases introduced by Shakespeare. There is a long list of phrases like we have here the drama Othello. There is an Indian movie. The name of the movie is Omkara. That is also made by taking the background philosophies all from Othello. So, green-eyed monster, wild goose chase, it is from Romeo and Juliet, for goodness sake, Henry. So these were the phrases, they have never been used before in English language. He was the first one who used these words in his different sonnets and in his different dramas. You can say that in English language, if we talk about the writers, the poets, the dramatists, the prose writers, we conclude that it was only Shakespeare who introduced so many new words that are still in use. So few of the words used by Shakespeare, they were left behind in modern English, but many of the words introduced by him, they are still used. And as far as this drama Romeo and Juliet is concerned, this Romeo and Juliet is, there are other movies from Hollywood. You can find almost all of his dramas, they have been picturized in movies. So these were the new words and phrases used by him, and he changed the grammatical categories by nouns to adjectives and adjectives to verbs, and by adding prefixes and affixes. So this was all about the contribution of Shakespeare to English language.